Hey guys, welcome to the Tennessee Football Breakdown with Billy Ratliff. I'm Starla, and we're going to talk about this Austin Peay game. Um, 30-13. I know that nobody thought we'd be saying that score when we talked about it last week, but let's just jump into it. What are you going to talk about first?
My. There's so many things we could talk about. I'm going to start off with the offense. I thought they would play a little bit better than they did. And I went back and watched it yesterday, and there was a few things that they can correct. A couple of misassignments that altered a lot of plays. And if anybody knows football, if all 11 people have to be on the same page in order for things to work. And if one person messes up, it messes up the play. You still had some drops by the receivers, still some situations with the throws. Um, Austin Peay came to play,
Mm-hmm.
and I think also the referees came to play. Because there was a lot of things that I saw that the referees I still can't believe when they go review things and they come back and they still get it wrong.
Yeah.
And I still think that the best is yet to come, and I'm glad the worst of it is happening early because Florida are going to give us their A game this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a totally different Florida that we saw their first 2 weeks, and we know how it is in the swamp. And the first thing I tell people about the swamp is the crowd. The crowd's going to be wild. They're going to be wild, loud, loud, loud. We haven't heard those kids haven't heard that since last year, the Alabama game. Um, Offensively, the running backs, I still say they did a good job. They're doing what
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would do all season. Um, I told everybody that's Coach Hyper's offense is to run the ball first, and we're starting to see that. Milton, I think was like 21 of 33, which is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people expect them to be a little bit more cleaner than that against an Austin Peay team.
I think we expected that in one half also.
Yeah,
I mean, the
exactly.
228 yards. I did. I thought we'd see him the first half and maybe, a few drives in the third quarter, and that's it. But it wasn't on him. It wasn't all on him. I mean, there were a lot of drop passes. I went back, I took notes and I wrote down every play,
Yeah,
you know, and it was about even. I mean, he had some bad throws. He had a lot of good balls that they didn't catch.
yeah, and that hurts.
So
That
is
hurts.
that chemistry? I mean, what?
Well, I still think it is chemistry, and practice. You don't throw it to the same person all the time. You got ones, twos, and threes, and I'm quite sure they're rotating a lot of guys in practice.
Mhm.
And typically, in game situations, you stay with the hot man on the field. And we haven't got that yet. And that's why I said we're still looking for that leader to step up. I have yet to see it. And
Mhm.
I'm waiting, and I'm hoping, praying it happens this weekend because this is where you set the tone for your season.
Yeah. So last week we against Virginia, we talked about third down conversions. I think last week we were 5 for 18. We were only 3 for 12 Saturday against Austin Peay.
That's the part that's we have to improve on.
Mhm.
That helps the defense as well. When the defense goes out and they get a 3 and out, we need the offense to continue those drives. I like the hurry up offense, but sometimes you gotta slow it down to help your defense too. If
Mhm.
your defense is tired, it's tough. Because especially if you don't have a lot of depth on defense. We got to fix that this week. I mean, I'm not looking. I don't want it to be. I mean, I'm not saying 100%, but 75% would be great. 60% be great. We're nowhere near that number.
No, we're about at 25 right now. So yeah. We didn't have a whole lot of first downs. They actually had more first downs than us. They had 19 and we had 17.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's that's about right, Joe. That's about right. I mean, I wasn't expecting us to have a lot of first downs against Austin Peay because I was looking forward to having a bunch of big plays. You know,
Right.
that's what you look for. But when you see them having more first downs than you, there's something still missing, because I think what they still converted five third downs, which that's a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, that's what a defense want, though. We want it to be that amount. That's good on defense. But as an offense, that is bad. You want to improve on that real fast.
So you've been on a team with high expectations. Going into these games, I mean, do you think they just overlooked them? Do you think they were looking forward to Florida, or are there issues that we need, or is it both? Are there issues we have to fix? Did they just overlook them, or is it just a combination of both?
I think it was both. For us to overlook, I don't think they overlooked those kids. I think Austin P came in to play hard. You're talking about a lot of kids that's from Tennessee that think they should have played for Tennessee. So they are gonna, kind of stick that in your face and let you know that we should have played you. And I'll tell you this here, I like what they did with the helmets. They came
Mhm.
in and had, the TriStars, the 931. But if they'd have came to my Neyland Stadium when I played with the 931 on their helmet, they're telling me one thing. They're better than us. They're basically disrespecting you. That's
Oh,
what. So I don't care what they say. They were trying to do a tradition. You don't do that. I mean, how do you separate Tennessee? How do you
yes.
separate that? The area codes. How do you separate that? And for them to do that, I I felt some type of way with it. And gosh, I wish it was me playing back then when if they did something like that. They would have never wore those helmets again.
Were those helmets they usually wear? Do you have any idea? I don't know.
I think it's just, it's one of those things that the kids love those types of things. It's
Hmm.
something different. And I can tell the coach is a very inspirational guy.
Hmm.
You can see how he jumps around on the field and everything. And, the way he was jumping on the field, you would have thought he was winning this game. And something he was putting the kids that we don't quit. And I like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I was a little worried about him there for a minute. I didn't know if he'd make it off four corners.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
can't
Well, let's
Rick
talk
Rule
about
or
the
something.
D. Oh yeah. Let's talk about the defense. There were some good things. Beasley had I don't have that stat up. Okay, 8 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. I thought he played well.
Yes.
Hadn't had some plays where it just I've never played football, so you could tell this, but to me, like turn your head around and look at the ball, and one of those he could have just grabbed it out of the air. I mean, it pretty much hit him in his back. So, but then when he did turn his head and look, he had some good pass breakups.
Yeah.
Um, and the interception, was I think he had an interception also. But so, how would you rate those two guys? Did Kamal Hadden make up for his mistakes with those plays?
I think he did. He knew he played. He had a good game, but he would say it was average. Um, I still think he's growing,
Mm-hmm.
and the best has yet to be seen of these kids. Defensively, we did a good job, other than some of the big plays at the end where we had some of the younger guys in because to save the guys from getting injured.
Mm-hmm.
But still, when those guys are in there, they have to play just like they're the starters. So I don't give them any. I'm not going to give them give them a playoff because that's what I think they did. They took too many plays off, watching the ball and not taking care of business. That's something that I guarantee you, Coach Hyper, he corrected that in practice today.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do that. Those are things we expect for you to go out there and don't have any letdown from the starters. Because before you guys went in there, we had a perfect defensive game. We
Yeah.
haven't given up anything, nothing big, not any big plays, any big runs, nothing. It was, they didn't get those first down until like the end of third quarter, fourth quarter. So
Mm-hmm.
I still give their defense, I'm gonna give them a B
Okay.
plus.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Um, I can't remember how to say their quarterback's name, but he had so he only had 36 yards rushing. I thought he had more than that, but that's probably because he had he had some negative rushing.
I think he had a long run. I think he had a big play, like 40.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, that kind of made up for, the sacks, that
Yeah.
it would have been a lot less than that if it wasn't that big run because defensively we shut the run game down. They
Hmm.
was not able to run. I mean, he was their running back.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have a running back that had over 20 yards, I don't think. It was a tough game for them. They couldn't move the ball. I mean, he had to throw it, and that's why I still say we could have done better on defense when we had them one-dimensional.
Hmm. It felt like that whenever they needed some of their more like their better plays when they needed to get a first down, it seems like he was the one that was running it though. He might, and I know he didn't end up with a lot of yards because of all the negative plays, but is this has been kind of a theme for the past couple years, hasn't it? Running quarterbacks. What's so hard to stop a running quarterback?
Well, it just depends on the situation. You go to a situation where you have an empty backfield. You really don't have anybody to spot a quarterback in a sense because you got to play the game. I mean, you think of the defensive line. There's the offense. You got 5 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen. Now that fifth guy is typically your middle linebacker. Well, your
Mm-hmm.
middle linebacker is typically dropped back in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So now what you have was, 0 guys even worry about him when he's supposed to be kind of keeping his eye on him. The quarterback typically have an easy chance to get yards if they do it. But
Mm-hmm.
9 out of 10, they don't do that anymore. The quarterback draw is like unexistent anymore. It just doesn't happen as much anymore. It's like they're afraid to do it now. And like I even called to play with us when we did the draw with Milton. I knew it was going to be draw.
Mm-hmm. Penalties. We had a lot of penalties.
Uh,
You've played in the swamp. I mean, I think everybody, it's very safe to say that that stuff can't happen next week. Um, mental, I mean, just loss of focus. What in the world happened there? Some stuff that they called it was a
there's
horribly reffed game, but
Well, it's mentally and discipline. Um, some of the calls, I will say this, some of those calls should have been different. I mean, the referees were a little biased, and I'm not. When it comes to my team and other teams, when it comes to refereeing, I have no gray area in that. It's either right or wrong,
mm-hmm.
left or right. I don't believe in anything middle wise, and I don't think the referees called the game evenly.
Yeah.
For us the penalties, they it's a hard job on the referees when it comes to penalties. But some of those penalties they was called, I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, you miss at least 7 to 8 pass interferences on them, and a
Mm-hmm.
couple of them was, I mean, that wasn't pass interference. And those things, take a lot of energy out of the kids. When you think you've done everything right, and then you got a referee that's saying it's a penalty, it takes so much out of you. But
Yeah.
as a player, as a great player, if you play in the SEC, you got to learn that once that play is over, it does not exist again until Monday when we watch it on film.
Yeah.
So mentally, they got to get that correct because Florida, they're getting ready to see a lot, especially if some of those kids never been to Florida. Oh my gosh, the Florida stadium, the Florida fans, they are crazy. You got to love them, but they are crazy. They don't care who you are. They will let you know that they're there.
Yeah. Um, so we already talked about that. It seems like that the past two games, Joe's been a little bit off at the beginning. I'm not saying it's all his fault. The past game has been a little bit off, and so Coach Heupel has went to a lot of screen passes. I'm assuming to get Joe into a rhythm. Do you think we should start that sooner instead of like the last couple of games or both games? We've started out with the deep ball and then had some 3-and-outs early. But then once we got the screen pass going, it felt like we started moving a little bit. So do you feel like that we should just start the game off with screen passes and let him get going and then take some shots?
Well, I mean, the way the game is played now, offense now, which I don't like it because a lot of the times the play it comes from the sideline, and the coaches are kind of reading it for the kids and telling them where to throw the ball at.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how they see the scheme of the defense, and hopefully they take the training wheels off and let him loose and let him read and make those plays because I know he is a lot better than what everybody's seeing right now.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know it. I mean, the kid is smart. I mean, we're talking about, what Hooker did last year. This kid is just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Hooker would have not saw the field if he wouldn't have got hurt. And I'm telling you, if he wouldn't have got the field, we probably would have had another year of Hooker.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and Joe would have been the one that's going.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that I like what you said though. Like start off with some of the, kind of warm them up, get them some easy throws, quick slants. The string. Florida is not going to go for those strings like that.
Yeah.
Florida going to have DBs that know how to get around those screens. Like you see our DBs, how they get around the screens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to see. And we have yet to open the playbook up. See, that's the thing that fans got to understand. Like, we can't do that. We got to play these teams that we have right now with base offense.
Okay.
Don't give them anything. Like right now, these teams are studying to try to stop us from running the ball now.
Yeah.
So imagine that and thinking that, okay, so if they're doing that, we can go over the top now because we haven't went over the top much yet.
No.
We will see that this weekend.
Okay, good. I hope so because those plays are just exciting. But I noticed, I don't think we took hardly any shots down the field. The one at the beginning early, but yeah, I'm hoping to see. It kind of feels like everything's just a little tight right now. So I'm hoping that you're right, that we're just showing everybody just our very basic stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna come and open it up next week.
Well, I'll tell you this here. I think what we collectively as a fan group base have to understand this. We're not to the point where we could name the score that we want to score.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the point right now that we got to get a win no matter what it is. It may not be a sexy win, but it's going to be a win.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish that we would take the part off of the it just didn't look good, so we're not that good.
Right.
Um, just because we're not doing what Colorado is doing. You know, Dion has set them up to be that type of offense or be sexy like that. We have to win any means necessary. And this is the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Things will be different this year in the SEC. You will not see these crazy scores anymore. You're going to see some hard fought football now.
Yeah.
It's going to be the traditional where, you got the head on head, Alabama, Georgia, all this here. I don't think we'll truly see blowouts in the SEC anymore.
Well, then it sounds like it's gonna go back to the old days. Last year might have been an anomaly.
I would love to see that again. I know it won't be that way because of the way the rules are against the defense and the offense is set up to score points. But defensive players, we learn how to adapt to that. And of course, they always find a way to change it once we perfect it. And
Mm-hmm.
and I just hope that they do what they need to do just to continue to win. Don't worry about the outside stuff, what everybody thinking about, because as long as you win, everybody's gonna have fun. They can
Mm-hmm.
talk crap all they want, but all the thing they're gonna say is Tennessee is still my team.
Yeah, there you go. Um, It was reported earlier that they had a players only meeting yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, obviously, I don't want you to speculate on what they talked about, but did you have to do that anytime during your career? Did your all's team have to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I've had that. I'll tell you the most memorable one was probably the 98 season. Um, from the beginning when Peyton and Leonard, all those guys left, we wasn't projected to win any 8 games and stuff like that. And that kind of disrespected us. It was more of like us against everybody. And it wasn't just the teams, it was our fans, the media, and all this. And I mean, they were like, there's no way. And we know, like, okay, guys, I mean, what are they talking about? We still got everything here. I mean, we got all the ingredients to make the same soup. And they just when Al called that meeting and he told all the coaches to get out, he didn't ask. He didn't even ask. He said, y'all get out. I need to talk to my boys. Got out. And it was just us against the world. And that's the way we played that whole season. We were playing for each other. We always said was if we win, everybody, it would be okay. We don't have to worry about that. If we win, we'll be okay. The fans are like it. Everybody's happy. The businesses are happy. We're happy. Let's just go out here and play for each other. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff. And I kind of feel sorry for Joe right now. The hate that he gets is unbearable, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I understand that he's the quarterback, but they don't, I guess they don't understand how it works. This man is over 70% of his passing right now. He
Hmm.
has what, 7 touchdowns already
No interceptions.
blocked, 0 interceptions. I'm trying to think, how many interceptions do Joe even have while he's at Tennessee?
I don't think he has one.
Zero. Zero. The man doesn't turn the ball over. He does a good job of protecting it. And of course, everybody's gonna say he's overthrow Joe. Well, I'll take overthrow Joe than underthrow Joe. It was a pick any day. So,
Amen to that.
yeah, I mean, I just wish that we can just understand that these guys are still kids. And, I read a lot of things about them with the NIL and they pay for play. It's not pay for play. It's not. These guys still got to go work for that money. I'm telling y'all,
Mhm.
NIL is not what they think it is. Like, oh, they get paid more than most of us working our jobs. And I know that's the reason why a lot of fans are hating Joe right now. And that's just the way the world is. They see someone that's successful,
Mhm.
they find a way to try to break them down, no matter what. They're going to criticize them regardless. And I'm thankful that he's done a great job of blocking all that out. I even saw where his mom posted on one of the shows about
Mhm.
how things was going, and she said she's just thankful that he does not see any of that stuff. And see, that's what
Yes.
I tell people, like the team players, they don't care about that stuff. Now recruits, they see that stuff because they still on social media reading. Like they still see that. The players, they don't care about that. They're like, hey, we can't do no, we can't control that.
Mhm.
We can only control what we can. And he's done a great job, man. That's right. And I hope this weekend, and I pray, and I know he's not that type of guy. Like I told you, so type of guy. He's very reserved.
Mhm.
I hope he go down and have a 6 touchdown game. And I pray he come to the podium and put his prime time show like Deion Sanders and say, "Hey, I told you we was coming."
Oh, I hope so too. Have you watched Florida play much? Are there 2 games so far?
I watched them. I went and watched both games.
Mhm.
I still watch the stuff like I still play. It's crazy. Like I go watch the offensive tackles, the guards, and try to watch and see what they do. And it's the game haven't changed for me. It's fun. It keeps me go and keep my brain thinking, and it's fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Florida, they are not as good as your typical Florida team has in the past, but we know that they are going to give us a national championship type play.
Yeah.
But they're
So
not good.
what?
They're not good at all. This might be the worst Florida team I ever seen,
Yeah.
ever.
So what? Do they do anything good that we need to watch out for?
Um, well, you got to understand, Florida, they're doing the same thing we did. They're holding out. They're just
Mm-hmm.
running base stuff, simple things. And typically Florida normally run the score up on those teams. You didn't see the last game, it was too easy. I mean, they like really, but no, they don't. There's nothing that I seen that was dominant. I didn't see a dominant offensive line, defensive line. I know they got the kids to be dominant. They got a huge defensive tackle down there. I mean, gosh, I don't think I've seen a guy that big.
Number
And
21.
yeah, oh my gosh, I'm like, where are they finding these guys at in Florida? I mean, he is humongous,
Mm-hmm.
but the bigger they are,
He's a little slow though, isn't he?
very slow. Like he's one of those guys that can give you, you know, 2, 3 plays and he should come out the game, but also one of those guys that is very hard headed and is not going to come out the game. And our offense is what's going to regulate that where he can't come off the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure out a way to either put him in on short yardage or let him play every down because I don't think Hype is going to let him get off the field.
Oh, good. What's your prediction? You got a score prediction?
Blowout.
Okay.
I truly do. I truly think we're going down there and handle business. I'm expecting the unexpected because there's so many people that are doubting us. I'm like, guys, I understand the tradition of how this has happened in the past in Florida and Gator and all that stuff, but we got to also put this out. I'm like, every year is a different team. I understand that, same things typically happen. It's because that's the way our minds think. We're
Mm-hmm.
not the same every year. It's a totally different situation. I mean, our offense is not like it was last year. We're running the ball amazing right now. We
Mm-hmm.
couldn't say that last year, but we ran the ball last year a lot more than we passed it. But we're doing the run game way better last year. We got 100-yard rushers now.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't happened in forever. I think we're going to go down there and if defensively we can smother their offense, I don't think we have an issue on offense.
Okay. Well, I hope not. I hope we can see the pass game get going a little bit. I'm not worried about our run game either. I mean, we've got some really good running backs. I thought it was interesting that we had 228 yards receiving and 228 yards rushing this past game. Did you realize that?
Yes,
The
I did.
exact same amount.
I did see that. That's why I'm not worried. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Georgia and Alabamas now. That's what I'm ready for. I'm ready for Georgia. That's who I'm really ready for. I'm just
Yeah.
hoping that we're ready. I mean, but we got to crawl before we walk.
Yeah. So anything changed on your expectations for the season? You still feel the same?
Nothing at all. I mean, like I said, this game here is going to help me decide on how many games I actually truly think we're actually win. Would it be 10 or would it be 11?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
if we can come in and start the SEC off dominant, 1-0, I think we can really win a lot of ball games. I mean, I'm not saying because Florida is not good. I'm just saying it's an away game.
Mm-hmm.
It's in one of the toughest environments to play football. And if we can come out of there with a victory, I think everything else will work itself because I truly don't think there's another stadium that is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gators are just, I always call it the Gator magic. They always have something that came out that it just changed the course of the game. And I'm just hoping we take that out first.
Yeah, for sure. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? I heard it's your birthday week.
Hey, it's birthday week. I typically hibernate on my birthday. I don't do a lot. Like a lot of people, they have fun jumping around cakes and all that stuff. I don't do that. I'm a homebody. I'm a country boy. I don't need much. I mean, you can throw me a pack of socks. I'm happy.
So
I
did you
don't
get to
need
go
a
to the
thing.
game like you planned this past weekend?
What's that?
Were you there at the game Saturday?
I was. I went there to the tailgate and I was on our way there to the stadium and they said it was a delay. So
Mhm.
I slightly turned around and came home.
All right.
I don't like those type of crowds. I mean, especially in our stadium is not designed for that, especially with that many people. And you get crowded in those hallways, it's a mess. And I can't I don't like being crowded like that. So my whole crew, we dispersed and turned around and some went back to the tailgate and the rest went home. I went home.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I guess that's all I have for you, unless you have anything to add.
I think that's all. I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it. I'm ready to get this game started.
It's Gator Hater week, so we gotta hopefully we can get on there and take care of business. Everything will be all right. It'll be at night. That makes it a little bit harder, but we'll be all right.
Right, it is a night game. Oh, my, that's even better. Gosh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why they do those night games in Florida with Tennessee. They want their fans to be as crazy as possible. So imagine, oh my God, I forgot it was a late game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my, that stadium is gonna be rocking.
Yeah. Eh,
So we got to take them out early. Just get up 21-0. They'll shut up quick.
yeah, for sure. Hopefully this player only meeting has kind of righted the ship a little bit. So
I'm telling you, that's what the meeting was about, is to block out all the other stuff. They know that they can do it.
mhm.
Calm down. Don't worry about everything else. As long as we do our jobs, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they did do that in some situations for us, telling each other, let's worry about us, not them.
Yeah.
We do our job, everything else will work itself out.
Yeah. All right, Billy. Well, thank you very much again. And hopefully next week we're talking about a win in the swamp.
We will.
All right. Well, you have a great birthday this week. Don't hibernate. Go out and celebrate.
Thank you, Starlord. I will. I'll do a little something, not much.
Yeah. All righty. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, take care.
All righty.